Welcome back to Trending Update USA. This is Stefan, and I'm glad you're here with us right now as the tennis world pauses, refreshes its feeds, and collectively says, wait, did that really just happen? Because today's Coco Gauff live reaction story is one of those moments that fans are still struggling to process in real time, the kind of twist that reminds everyone why sports, especially tennis, can flip emotions in seconds and turn certainty into shock before you even finish your sentence. Coco Gauff walked onto the court with the familiar mix of confidence and calm that fans have come to expect from her, that steady presence of a player who has grown up under the brightest lights and learned how to breathe inside pressure rather than panic. And from the very first rally you could feel the energy building, not just in the stadium but across social media where fans were already typing predictions, debating outcomes, and declaring what they believed was inevitable, because when Coco Gauff is involved, expectations don't whisper, they roar. The match atmosphere had that special tension that doesn't come from rivalry alone but from anticipation, from the sense that something meaningful could unfold at any moment, and Coco looked locked in early, moving with that explosive balance between speed and control, her footwork sharp, her timing clean, and her body language focused in a way that usually signals a long night for whoever is standing on the other side of the net. And fans watching live felt reassured, almost comfortable, as if the script was already written. But tennis doesn't care about scripts, and that truth arrived fast, because just when it seemed like Coco was settling into her rhythm, the match took a turn that nobody had queued up in their minds, a sudden shift in momentum that left fans blinking at their screens, refreshing scores, rewinding clips, and asking the same question over and over again. How did this happen so quickly? How did the balance swing so hard? And why does this feel unreal? Coco's opponent began to swing freely, shots that had been landing safely started finding sharper angles, returns came back with more depth, and rallies stretched longer, testing not just legs but patience, and for the first time the familiar flow of Coco Gauff's game showed small cracks, not mistakes born of panic, but hesitations, half-steps, moments where timing was just slightly off, and in elite tennis, slightly off can feel like miles. Fans reacted instantly, because Coco Gauff fans are among the most engaged and passionate in the sport, and the live reaction online exploded into a flood of disbelief, with posts flying in faster than winners down the line, people typing things like "this can't be real," "is my stream lagging," and "someone please explain what just happened," and the reason the reaction was so intense wasn't just the scoreboard. It was the speed of the change, the way control slipped before anyone had time to emotionally adjust. As the match continued, every point felt heavier, each rally carried a sense of urgency that wasn't there at the start, and Coco's expressions between points told a story of a competitor searching for answers in real time, adjusting, recalibrating, trying to reassert control without forcing it, and this is where the conversation around Coco Gauff often deepens, because moments like these test not just talent, but maturity, resilience, and the ability to stay present when momentum turns against you. The crowd noise shifted too, that subtle but unmistakable change when belief spreads to both sides, cheers growing louder for unexpected points, gasps following missed opportunities, and every reaction echoing the collective uncertainty in the air. And for fans watching at home, this wasn't just a match anymore, it became a shared emotional experience, a roller coaster where excitement, frustration, hope, and disbelief rotated with every game. What made this moment especially shocking was the context, because Coco Gauff hasn't just been winning matches, she's been redefining expectations, carrying the weight of being a Grand Slam champion, a face of the next generation, and a symbol of consistency at the top level. So when something unexpected happens in her matches, it feels bigger, amplified by the standards she has set for herself, and the expectations fans have built around her performances. Social media timelines filled with instant analysis, armchair coaching, and emotional reactions, some fans urging patience and perspective, others venting frustration, and many simply stunned into silence, watching without typing because they didn't trust their own reactions yet, and that split perfectly captured what this moment meant, not panic, not dismissal, but raw surprise at seeing a match drift into unfamiliar territory. Coco herself never stopped competing, and that's the detail that matters most beneath the shock, because even as momentum shifted, Even as rallies slipped away, her effort never dipped, her intensity never faded, and her refusal to disengage reminded everyone why she's respected not just as a champion, but as a fighter, someone who understands that tennis isn't about avoiding adversity. It's about meeting it head-on and staying in the battle. There were flashes of brilliance that reignited belief, a perfectly timed backhand, a bold forehand return, a serve that cracked through the tension and earned a clean point, and each of those moments sent ripples through the fanbase, brief surges of hope that maybe, just maybe, the tide was about to turn again, because with Coco Gauff, fans have learned never to assume the story is finished until the final point is played. Yet the disbelief lingered, because regardless of the final outcome, this match delivered a reminder that even the best players in the world are not immune to sudden shifts, to opponents finding another level, or to the unpredictable rhythm of tennis. And that reality is both humbling and fascinating, the reason fans stay glued to screens even when things don't go according to plan. In the hours following the match, the live reaction evolved into reflection, with fans replaying key points, discussing tactical choices, and debating what this moment means going forward. And while some voices jumped to conclusions, many others emphasized growth, learning, and the bigger picture, recognizing that one shocking turn doesn't define a career, especially not one as young and accomplished as Coco Gauff's. What truly stood out was how unified the fanbase became in disbelief rather than division, because this wasn't about blame, it was about shared astonishment, the collective experience of watching something unexpected unfold in real time, and that kind of moment strengthens the connection between athlete and audience, reminding everyone that sports are unscripted, emotional, and deeply human. Coco Gauff has faced pressure since her teenage years, navigated hype, criticism, and expectations that would overwhelm most players, and moments like this, as shocking as they feel, are part of the ongoing journey, the chapters that test adaptability and reinforce resilience. And if history has shown anything, it's that Coco responds to surprises not by shrinking, but by learning and evolving. Fans may not believe what just happened, but they also know what comes next: analysis, adjustment, and the return of a competitor who thrives on challenges. And that's why this live reaction moment matters, not because it shattered belief, but because it reminded everyone that belief isn't about perfection, it's about trust in the process, in the player, and in the long road of elite competition. As the conversation continues, one thing is clear: Coco Gauff remains at the center of the tennis world's attention, not just for her victories, but for the moments that test her, surprise her, and ultimately shape her story. And today's shock will become tomorrow's lesson, another layer in a career that is still unfolding in front of our eyes. So if you found yourself staring at the screen thinking you couldn't believe what you were watching, you weren't alone. Millions of fans felt the same, and that shared reaction is what makes moments like this unforgettable, because long after the scoreline fades, the feeling of collective disbelief remains, fueling conversations, debates, and anticipation for what Coco Gauff will do next. This is Stefan with Trending Update USA, bringing you the moments that make sports impossible to ignore, and as always, we'll be right here following every twist, every surprise, and every reaction as the story continues.